All right, people. Another day on this planet. Another day with what's going on. The whole thing's going down fast. I mean, the planet. Are you ready to go down with it, or are you going to try to stay on top of it? So here's the thing we're going to talk about today. The main thing is, are aliens going to come down here anytime soon and say hello or whatever they want to do? We're going to get into that today. Here in Hawaii, the weather's been okay, but they're still spraying chemtrails as much as ever. And there's so many things about the virus. I have my own ideas, and I don't want to put them out there mainstream because it's just my ideas. I mean, I don't have actual proof on that. I do tell people there is a cure for the virus, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it every time I get on a show before I do anything else. The cure for the virus is if you can get into a sweat lodge and stay in that for at least a half hour, inhale real deep, you'll destroy the virus. The virus can't stand a temperature of 115. 110 it can, so I say it has to be really hot. At that point, when you inhale that, it'll kill the virus inside your lungs. You don't want to put water in there, which what the machine does when they hook you up to it. The ventilator and all those kind of things aren't really doing anything to the virus. So just my opinion, I have some evidence and things, but it'll cure the virus. And then when you come out of the sweat lodge, have a nice hot cup of tea, and you'll be rosy to go to bed for the night and see how you feel the next day. But tell people you know that you think they were exposed to it to do that. This way it'll kill the virus if it's in them before it gets too bad into their body. So that's just a word of advice, help. If you listen, it's your choice. I can only say try it. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a medical degree, but I don't think having that helps anything because they can't come up with a cure anyway. So as we get into the show today, any questions, please? I don't see my comments are on. Hold on. All right, I opened up my comments. Sorry about that. So call in, put your questions in there. We'll answer them, or you can get in touch with either one of us after the show. Mine's Hawksblood1AOL.com. It's on the bottom. I have that link up in case you want to get my first 2 books, which are free. I'll send them to you as an ebook if you're interested. I haven't been dealing with UFOs when I write. Sorry about that. But my newest, I got a file which I can send to you if you really want to know how to see a UFO. That I can send out, and I wouldn't charge you for that either. So I'm not here to make money. Tina's not here to make money, but I'll let her introduce herself right now. Greetings, Tina.
Hello, Tommy. Greetings to you. Hi, everybody. I'm Tina Byrne here in Southampton in England, and you can find me on Hive. That's Human Individuals Visited by Extraterrestrials, and that's the Hive Initiative on Facebook. And you can also find me on the Hive group, or I'm ET or Tina Bird, ET Girl Tina Bird. You can find me on Facebook. If you'd like to talk tonight on our show, that's going to be about contact and how soon that will happen. Well, worldwide contact in one go, depends which way you want to look at it. And we'll be here tonight with Tommy and myself. So if you'd like to join us on chat and come in and ask a few questions, or if you'd like to come onto our show and be a guest on the show, please do so. You can contact me or Tommy, like Tommy said, at any time. And Tommy, back to you, and hello again, everybody.
All right, we're going to start off simple. If you have been watching the news, Trump's putting his 2 cents in. I guess some people are pushing him to say something. He did say he's going to try to open up an observatory kind of a deal where they're going to watch the complaints and advice coming in about UFOs. Let's see how far that goes. We know he opened up the space program, which was already good.
Is that linked to his Space Force, that observatory?
I don't know. I wonder if it is. I don't know how much he's really going to do or be involved with that. I know he says he doesn't believe in it. So right there, he's not going to be going out full force trying to get it out there publicly. I mean, if he believed in it, I'm sure we'd all be hearing about UFOs and everything else. I mean, even his son was asking him, and he can't answer his son. So I guess he's not going to answer us either.
So why would you need a Space Force and spend all that money on something that may not exist?
Because there's a war going on in space, and they know it. So, you know, it's sad. You can see, here's what I tell people. Don't listen to people. Look at what's happening in the world. Look at the reality of your situation where you live, the planet, other countries. Look at what's happening. You don't have to have a psychic or a being come out of space to tell you, hey, there's a fire burning and it's half of California's on fire right now. I didn't notice. I mean, my friend's living right next to it. She has to filter the air in her house and everything. So it's out there mainstream. But when you watch the news, I say watch it. Don't listen to the way they say it. Listen around what they're saying, because the truth's partially in there and you can pull it out. I mean, when they attack people, all right, that's all it is. They're attacking people. And we shouldn't be listening to that. They shouldn't be allowed to say it. I mean, if you're running for a candidate as a president, tell us what you're going to do. We don't need to hear you talk about this person's a jerk and this person's an idiot. He's going to. No, don't complain about other things. Tell us what you're going to do. You're the one what you're going to vote for or not vote for. If you got anything important to say it. But obviously, they don't have anything good to say.
If I could interject there, I mean, that's another reason. It's like you voted that person to become president and they're running your country, even if you don't like them, for the sake of, like, if we're like our prime minister, because we're British, we'd stand behind our prime minister. I know everyone slags their own prime minister off, or their president or what have you, but they've had a majority from somewhere to get in. Let them do the job. It's hard enough doing any job, even your own jobs, without being criticised. Imagine a whole country being against you and your whole workforce. It's a difficult job for anybody, but they're doing it for you, supposedly. I'll leave that there. Okay.
Well, now, what I want to say, like, Tina put up a couple things on her site. I don't put my stuff up. I've been shooting ships and everything, but I have not been putting them up on YouTube. A friend of mine keeps saying, put it up, date it, put it up. I'm not at a place for that to happen, because that's not going to change the world, because there's hundreds of videos going up weekly now. And I'd say at least 50 of them, 50% of them are real. Maybe even more than that now. But the problem is, we know they're there. Everybody should know they're there. The thing that I see is important, and I hope it happens before I die, before I leave this planet, that the aliens do come here and say, you're a bunch of idiots, now you're going to have to listen to us. Or whatever they're going to say, however they're going to do it. But I would really like to see that happen, because I want to see some of these people's eyes go, bleh. Oh, it's real? Or whatever's going to happen to their ego, or whatever's going to go down.
But, you get so many apologies, Tommy. It's not funny.
Well, for me, greetings, Mr. Tinfoil Hatter. I just wanted to say this. I want to be here as long as I can, because if it happens while I'm alive, I just want to keep saying what I'm saying. There's no good aliens coming here. All I hear is, I work with the good aliens. Oh, I work with the good aliens. These are good aliens. They're good aliens. Really? I said, okay, in 30,000 years, what good did they do for us? What did they help man do? I did a whole thing on that, and I was going to talk about it on a show that I'm going to do in the next week or so. But basically, think about it. Think of 30,000 years. Can you put your mind on that kind of time frame? All the things that went down. What did man do in that time frame? Kill people, sacrifice people, have wars, nail people to crosses, burn them. I mean, what did we do? What was good anywhere along that time frame? And you say suddenly we're going to become 6-dimensional beings? People think. Why do people think, because they think they're spiritual, that they should become spiritual beings? I mean, karma is a word Buddha taught about a long time ago. So when we create a horrible situation for our lives in the lifetimes that we have, and we're in this lifetime, we got to deal with that. So we think aliens are going to come down and take that all away from us? They've been here just as long as us, as we have, and they've been here longer. A lot of them left because they realized it was a useless deal trying to get us to move forward. And I say, you want to prove you're spiritual? Go out into your yard, look for an ant colony or a bee colony, whichever one you can find, grasshoppers, whatever, a group of them. Teach them to fly, or teach them to talk. And when you do come back, and then we'll see how spiritual we can say, you're spiritual, you taught an ant to talk. Do something constructive, other than step on them or spray them with a bug spray. I mean, we don't do positive things. And I just wrote a letter to Neil Diamond Walsh, and I said to him, he goes on and on about a lot of things. I said, why is it? We talk about all these things and we don't do nothing. We say we're spiritual and all these other words. And then he mentioned the word love. I said, okay, what positive thing ever happened in 30,000 years? Did aliens come down and say they love us? Some people will say, yeah, I met them. They were in my room and they said they love me. I mean, yeah, that's some people. In general, If somebody loves you, they give you a gift, maybe a flower or even that. I don't think the person ever even got a flower from an alien. Never mind something important. So, when I talk about what's going to happen, and we're going to get into it a little deep, but why will it happen soon? And how could it happen? What would be the starting point, and how would it go from there?
You mean a catalyst? See, for me, from my perspective, so this is just from my perspective, growing up, these things happen to you and you put them to the back of the mind and they kind of dissolve away. And you watch all these films sometimes on telly, or you avoid watching telly or anything like that. But in reality, it's not until you get older and you look back, like I said now, and you realise, and you hear this word contact and visitors or UFOs and nutty people. But these things, we don't understand them. They're obviously they are a lot older than the human race. This could be their planet. We could be the invaders, which we probably are. I mean, I don't think mankind's come that long away and in their time scale. And as a contact, I mean, it is what each person classifies as a contact. I mean, you could say, I absolutely love desserts, and half the world is dessert people and half the world isn't. What do you classify as dessert? Bacon and eggs? Well, I'll class bacon and eggs as dessert because I have that for dessert. Do you buy poached fish? Do you like watermelon? Do you like strawberries and ice cream? It's different for everyone in different parts of the world. Contact is on different levels. If they're taking you, they reckon that's there's some kind of scale. That's contact. You're having contact, or they're having contact with you, whether you understand the message or whatever they're trying to do or steal from you or enlighten you with. That's a different form of contact. Now they are choosing who they're having contact with. Whether if it is people in the government and they're denying it, fine, but it's happening. If it is with different religions and it is with different people all over the world, they put it in paintings, people writing about it. If it's in underfunded countries or poor countries or countries in the Amazon where they don't have Wi-Fi or internet, but you got all these people saying that the lights are coming down from the sky and people are being taken or being hurt. These aren't people out for money. These people don't have money. They don't have ways of communication. They are being contacted. Now, just because a man sits in a room saying, oh, no, they haven't landed in a room, that's not really contact. It is contact. It's like pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. You can't be half pregnant and half not. It's different things along the way. We're the human race that's having a contact. Who is defining what contact is and what gives them that right to say we're not being visited or we're not having contact? Who?
Well, what people have to look at. I mean, people say, well, there has to be races out there. There has to be other people. But in reality, how many of them are actually working with the world, this planet? All right. And sadly, I look at it from the realistic viewpoint. People in power or people without power. Who do we listen to? The millionaires or the poor people? We have to listen to the millionaires. Why is that? So when alien races are in power and they come here, they're not sending their homeless poor people here. So we got to deal with their higher elite people. And they have an agenda. Every creature has their own agenda in their own reality. The same as every person does. Every race does. So we have, I'd say 9 races. I mean, they talk about 37 races and all that. The president, Putin, did as well. But here's the thing. How many of them can actually interfere with our planet right now? I'm saying a few can. But see, on top of that,
are there different races or just different subspecies of each other? Nobody really knows.
Well, I can only say what I know. Aliens don't go to the higher worlds. They can't go past the astral plane. And I never saw one go past one. And they're reincarnating into humans right now because they want to be loving, compassionate, feely people.
They don't have that in them. They're very dark inside.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They want to reincarnate to experience what love really is at a higher level than what they have, which they don't have any. So they work like robots, even though they're not. They live like a beehive. They all follow their master teacher, whatever they call them. So, but all the races that are here, Their mission is not to help mankind become spiritual, smart, which they can't. It's not here to help us make a better planet, safer planet. It's about destroying the planet, getting food from the planet, which is really not the best agenda to have, especially against us. It's not for us. Now, all the races that I know that abduct everybody I know, and let Tina give her experiences if she wants about that, everybody that I work with that lost their children, that never got to see them again, that's not a positive. Who says what? It's not positive for those people. If I still have a child, or I'm going to have a child, 8.5 months pregnant, and suddenly it's gone, that's not a positive thing in my book. And then you never get to see the child again. That's sad. And what it does to people. And we don't know the numbers of those people because most of those people never came out publicly. The few that I know, they dealt with the hospital. They had to.
Very traumatic. Very traumatic.
They had to get their sonograms done and everything, and they were monitoring the baby, and they said, oh, he's going to be born soon. And then she goes in for a test, and there's nothing there. Nothing. No sign of her even being pregnant. I mean, it boggled the hospital, but they're not going to go anywhere with that. What are they going to say? Well, we don't know. They'll say our equipment was messed up or something. They'll make some stupid story up to protect themselves. Like I'm still trying to help Tina. I said, we got to get her video from the freaking stupid people that won't give it to her. But when it's a video of you, I don't see how anybody in court could say you can't have it. Oh, it would show that they had an alien in their belly or whatever they might say.
It's just like me taking a picture of you. I own the right to the picture, even though it's a picture of you.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? But, I went through that. See, my friend who I worked with copyrighted all the pictures we shot. I might have had about 20 pictures that I didn't let him have, and he didn't copyright them. But all the pictures we shot together, he downloaded them and copyrighted it all. So by the same token, let him sue me. That's my face. You're going to sue me for putting my picture on the planet, which I don't want it out there. Again, like you said, they can't stop you from using your own pictures if it's of you. So I mean, the idea of like, oh well, but he copyrighted them all, so nobody else. He sued Whitney Schreiber because he put one of our pictures in his book, and he was going to sue Jose Escamillo, but we let him slide. He died. He was sick and everything else. He was into the rods, and he called everything creatures. So even that, people's viewpoint of the same thing is different. But they are coming here. We do know that.
I've got a question, Tommy. You said about viewpoints, and disclosure. China's openly said for many years, and their citizens, that UFOs are real and aliens are real. Because if you ask any Chinese citizen, they will blatantly tell you the truth and say, yes, they believe in UFOs and they're real and they are visiting. So they believe in abduction. They're saying that UFOs are real and aliens are real. They have done for many years. And you've got even, is it like a consulate's wife or like an MP's wife in China, or someone came forward, said she'd been taken. But also, the only country that's done a big U-turn, and I think it is the only country, was Germany. Germany, during World War I and World War II and Erich von Braun's genre, where the Germans were out proactively searching the planet in other places all over the globe for aliens, for artifacts. It's a bit like the Indiana Jones movies, but on a probably a bigger scale, but something similar. But then in recent times, after the I'm not quite sure what war it was, between the Russians and the Germans. And the Germans now, if you go to Germany, there's a gentleman called, what's his name? I've got a picture of him here. That gentleman, I can't remember his name. That'll come to me in a second. So if you openly ask about UFOs in Germany, they don't exist. There's not a unit. They're not looking into them. They're not invading their airspace, and they don't exist. But then you have a full-blown proper journalist investigating it. I think his name's Robert Fleischer. And he's a qualified journalist, been there, very serious gentleman, and he reports on this subject. The Russian side of Germany and the Berlin Wall and all things like that years ago kept documents. Russians were very good at it, and they've released things, and at some point they've helped him get information along the way. But the other side of the wall, with Germany, across the board, if you report it, you're a lunatic. They don't exist. The citizens don't believe in it, and you're nutty if you do. So how come they've gone from searching the globe to finding answers and all this advanced technology to nobody at all in Germany, complete snow blanket? But Americans will say it's real, Canadians will say it's real, the Chinese say it's real. The British people are now lifting their veil. It's taken them long enough for whatever reasons. But the only country that seems to have done a U-turn is Germany.
Well, you know, I look at a couple things. Our government can't say what's going on. It would take any association between the people and our government, and it would destroy it. So they're not going to come out and say anything real about what's happening. They'll put little bits out there, well, because people see them, people taking pictures of them, but nobody's proving a ship landed on their property, an alien walked in their house, or anything like that.
Well, they did it in America. There was who was that gentleman? He lived out in the desert somewhere in a he was an ex-military person. He lived in a desert and he kept records and films, and he had videos. It wasn't until this guy died he kept ringing up. I'm not sure if it's the special services in America or the FBI or whoever, and they went out to his ranch. They thought he was a loon. Went out to his ranch when he died because he started sending in videotapes. And apparently these aliens came down and gave him gifts. He took pictures of them, pictures of the craft. They went in there. They took everything and soil samples, everything. So there are, and they're documented. That's a documented case. They are documented cases. But so see, you can't have documented cases that are real if they don't exist.
Well, when you say documented, who documented them?
Well, the FBI obviously went there. All the secret. Well, I'm not sure how it works in America.
That's what I'm saying.
No, they took the sand samples. They tested his stuff, the artifacts these aliens left, and he took the pictures they looked at.
See, pictures can be faked. Any kind of picture.
Oh yeah, always check it.
We're about what? Since the beginning of Bigfoot, all right, that first video released how many years ago? To now. There's not one shred of real solid proof of a Bigfoot except the video. Every hair they ever found, including the hair from the supposedly Yeti from up in Tibet, up in the mountains, they tested it. And no, it's called the Yeti.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, the United States calls them the Sasquatch, but in Tibet they were called the Yeti, and they even made symbols of them on the temples and things like that. So we got a sample of that, and they tested it. It came back as a black bear. They don't have black bears on the mountains in Tibet. So it's from a bear, but it's from a bear that's not there. So the proof is not proving that it's a Bigfoot. But in reality is, why couldn't a Bigfoot have the DNA similar to a bear? I mean, the hair-wise, the hair samples. How much different is a hair from another hair?
Well, supposedly human beings come from apes. So if you took one of your hair samples, I know that.
That's nowhere in history improvable.
Just follow me on this. So if it's Darwin, so this proves Darwinism, right? So Darwinism doesn't work really. If we have apes and trees, right, and human beings are evolved from them, why would you lose all your hair and fur only to kill primates to take their skins to put them on you? That's not an evolution. And why are they still here? Why are they still the same as they was millions of years ago and still the same today? And if that is the case, you should take hair from your head and it should match someone in the ape family, and it doesn't. Well, mine wouldn't, because I'm my rhesus negative.
But here's the thing: we didn't come from a monkey. All right, a monkey's brain is not like ours. First off, I mean, a dolphin's brain is exactly like ours, where a monkey's brain's not even close.
We're more closer to dolphins, aren't we?
The story that actually kind of put a splinter in the idea that we evolved from an ape was called the missing link. And that's the only thing to prove that they were actually connected. No, there was two separate races. We were brought here as humans. We weren't brought here as a DNA cell or anything like that. We didn't grow into a person. So, I mean, the whole concept is twisted. But by the same token is people still believe that. People still believe that it's flat. People want to believe some scientists that want to work on a theory because they think it's a theory and they want to prove it. But, you know, proof is so hard to prove anything. Prove
The
to me
Earth is
that you're
flat.
alive.
Look at the light. It would be daylight all the time if the Earth was flat, no? If you spun it round, it would be daylight all the time, people. Where would nighttime come from?
Yeah, I mean, there's simple little things that take these scientists that'll come out and say, well, this proves that it's flat. Really? Go to the ocean, go to it like a jetty that sticks out in the ocean, and look. You should be able to see as far as you want one way and as far as you want the other way. Get one of those cranes, go up on a crane. You should be able to see all the way to the other side of the planet itself. You can't. Simple little things they could prove if they wanted to. No, they like the game of pushing people's minds every which way except the right way. If the world worked together, if China, Russia, Germany, and the United States ever work together on the same idea of like making something work, it would be incredible because their views are different and everybody else. But then
I think the French, they're actually with the French as well, because it's been reported many times that you get these black, like the Men in Black kind of people in Britain and other places, that these people go around in helicopters, and they're all out of them you'll have a couple of Americans jump, a French person, maybe one British, and a couple of other. They're not all from one, and that's here in England. You're getting that all around the world.
Well, some of them are aliens directly. They're not humans. So there's a combination. We do have government men in black, and we do have aliens men in black. So you got two separate entities that come around and work with people or try to cover them up, whatever they want to do. But getting back to the idea, okay, we got all this stuff going on. And Germany actually worked with the United States. So did Russia. We had two major battles, and we worked together. And it's the secret governments that work together, not the outer governments. And it's not the poor people and the rich people. It's the secret government that the rich people appoint that control all the stuff that's going on. Now, the 5 richest people on the planet, which is only 5, have 100 people under them. They're the people that control the whole world. Everything that goes on, they control it. I mean, these fires that are burning, and I don't believe that people can't see that so many of them are set. I mean, they're trying to destroy California. They have been. And their goal is to make it a port for an army base.
Half of Italy's on fire as well, isn't it?
Now there's wars going on at different levels, and technology, all the money they spent on one spaceship, don't you think they could have came up with a cure to put a fire out? They can't put a fire out, but they want to go to Mars. They let half a country burn up, and they want to go to Mars.
Isn't that the Americans? Just completely off topic for a second. All the American fires, isn't that down this San Andreas fault line?
No, California has about 250 fires burning right now from the top to the bottom.
Wow.
And there's about 10 super fires, which are completely 100% out of control. And they're actually getting deaths and things like that. So, but the technology, you don't think, I said, what's the bomb? A neutron bomb. If they dropped it in the center of the fire, it would suck the whole thing inside it. I mean, there's technology they should be thinking about using to get rid of a fire. I mean, instead of spraying the chemical over the top of it, everything, just spray a chemical over it like chemtrails, spray it over the people, spray it over the ground. Oh, there's ants there, spray them, spray everything. Rather than coming up with a more realistic, I mean, they got the sound device you put in your house to keep bugs and ants out of it. I mean, at least it's an idea of something different other than spraying your house with chemicals. So this whole thing about what the government's doing and what aliens are doing with them have nothing beneficial to us as a race. And I don't see why people don't look at that part of it, or whether they're going to come and help us. What do you expect? I mean, we mentioned that a lot. What do you think they could do for us? Really? What could they offer us that would make us better people?
Well, perhaps that's why they don't land on the White House lawn or at Buckingham Palace to show everybody. You know, what are your odds? So what country do you think this is actually going to happen in first? Do you think it'll be in a poor country, I don't know, like Botswana or India, Afghanistan, or do you think it's going to happen in Japan, China, Britain, America?
Do you know where it has to happen?
Sorry?
It has to happen in Hawaii.
You reckon?
Well, Michael Seltzer created a landing base for the aliens to come here. That's a joke, but he really did. And he really thinks they're going to land on that piece of spot where he said, okay, you can land here.
Why? They could land next to the pyramids. Apparently, that's what they've been built for. Teotihuacan or Sacsayhuaman or somewhere like that.
We've got these kind of people telling us things and doing things. Now, I went to it. I was there the day that they dedicated this monument land for alien landings. They had Hawaiian dances there. They built an altar and a whole bunch of things. And I said, wow, they're going to come to this spot to talk to who? Who are they going to ask to come there? Michael Sala? Well, since he's a UFO person, let's get him to come over. He's attacking the United States government all the time. I wouldn't want to talk to him if he was the last person on the planet. So who would an alien race want to talk? There's nothing for them to talk to anybody, really. I mean, now, let's split it. Why did they abduct you? There's a reason. There's an agenda there, a solid agenda, where it's beneficial to them. It's not beneficial to you. It's not beneficial to me, but it's beneficial to them. Agenda means you're going to do something.
They're deliberately taking people. So it is an agenda. It's not thought up and, oh, let's just drive by this galaxy and just pop in this planet and we'll just pick Tina up. There's thousands of people I've seen up there. Thousands of people on the ships they're taking.
There's a lot of people there, but they still handpick who they want because they can't put the whole planet on their ship and they don't want to.
But they don't keep all that they take. If they take 10,000 people, say within a month, they didn't keep all them. They only take pick one or two back up later. They don't, more people on this planet have probably been abducted and don't even know it.
Well, people get abducted. Now, the son of the person that invented the land missile, I was in the father's house, the one that actually invented the land missile, but his son's famous. I don't know I forgot what his name is, but he said, everybody will be abducted twice and taken to the moon, to the alien base. And he doesn't believe we went to the moon either. So that's where he's coming from. And this is his father was incredibly smart. Like I had Laura Eisenhower on my show and we had a good show together. But I listened to her other shows with the people that she brings on. I have a hard time listening to somebody. I mean, if she was just humoring me when she was on my show, it was one thing. If she was really right and true, it would be a different thing. But right now, when you agree with everybody, I don't agree with nobody. But when you agree with everybody, it means you have no truth. Because if you're willing to take Joe Schmo's story and Peter Pan's story and say, well, they're both real, good luck with that. See where it gets you. I mean, you're not going to get nowhere in it when you're coming closer to your death and everything else. So it's a matter of what you really want to focus on right now. If you're married and a family, that's part of your attention. You can't change that. It's too late to change that. But Jesus said to his disciples, leave your family, leave your children, follow me. So he had a different mission. He had a different teaching than what any religion teaches. Right there. People read the Bible and they don't even read that. They don't understand one word in the Bible because they think from a programmed viewpoint. And why I did this show, what I want to do, I'd love to be here till the day the aliens come here, just to remind people that they're not here to save your ass. They're not coming down here to make your life better.
See, it's not as if you could warn people, because I don't think people would believe. I mean, people are telling, say, look, we are, the human race is being abducted. We're genuinely being taken. Nobody's listening to that. You've got people that have been taken that have said they've seen things. Nobody's taken that seriously. They're not acting on that. They're not. The information abductees do have inside them, nobody is listening to that or taking a second look at that. Or, we probably have the key to a lot of defenses, or it's just any slight piece of information that could help the human race. Then they're not looking for that now, because when these things get it, it is going to be too late. And why? When they could be proactively doing something now, it's a bit late when they arrive. What's his name? Skinny Bob. When he arrives in his UFO and he lands on the White House lawn like everybody wants him to do, when he gets out, is he going to want to talk to Americans? Is he just going to come out and zap everybody? How are they going to talk to him? What's he got to say to the people? Or
Well,
what do we have to say to him? Are we going to accommodate him and put him up? You know,
well,
what plan is there? You know,
well, here's the plan. I refer to two movies. I say this is how it and why. All right. If the race is spiritual, which 99% of them are not, it would eliminate what the day the earth stood still, not the second one with Keanu Reeves, the first one. Now, a ship lands and this giant robot comes out of the ship and stands there.
Clacks 2 or
Now,
something, isn't it? I remember that.
but the guy that looked normal had to bring a message to the planet, and they killed him. The robot brought him back to life, and then he comes out and he says to the planet, "You've got 12 hours, whatever the time frame is, to change, or the world will be gone." That simple. And they tried destroying the robot. The tanks came in, started shooting at him, and the robot opened up his little eyes and shot beams and burnt everything up. So, in other words, they're not going to be able to hurt him. The new movie was so ridiculous with Keanu Reeves. Day the Earth Stood Still. No, you can't. You watch it as a separate story, it's okay, but don't try to compare it to the first one. But what I was saying is, they were kind of a spiritual race. They wanted the planet to start working together. Now, I say the most important movie, TV show, which is, I think, a series for a couple months, which is what people all should watch it for the fact that I feel if the race is intelligent enough to try to win the world over, they'll do it this way. In the movie The V, as in Victor, all right?
Yeah, I remember V.
The ships cover the planet. And then they send their key person down and they talk, and they say, well, we're going to help you. We're going to cure you of disease. We're going to help you become pilots and everything else. And so they're trading people, bringing people up on the ships and everything else. But did you want to say something?
No, I was waving at your guest.
So what I wanted to say is, the thing is, when it actually happened, these people believed them. We're here to help you.
So what would happen then, on that very good note, because you brought up something very interesting then, so what would happen then, answer me this then, so what would happen if this UFOs landed in Russia and China and America, and they got out and started speaking to people and said, we want to kill all the men on the planet. You're the human race. We don't really need men. We're going to kill all the men on the planet. What would the human race then do?
Couldn't do nothing, could they? It's not about what you can do, because it's only going to be what you can't do.
They can't do anything.
Getting back to the movie, what happens is she, the queen of the race, is pollinating her whole egg series of people that she's cloning. And then she's going to destroy the people and turn them into food. But on the disguise that she's helping everybody and putting them up on a ship and letting them see space and letting them think they're doing great. Now, the best way to win somebody over, what it is pull a gun on them or give them a piece of candy or an ice cream sandwich or something. How do they abduct children? Oh, you want an ice cream sandwich? Sure. So you win them over with a good thing. If you want to win people over, you don't threaten them first. Now,
or you don't bother. You just go in, give them a Mickey Finn, sedate them so they don't know, and just take them and do what you want with them.
No, I'm saying if you really want to take the whole planet over and keep some robots working around on the planet, yeah, they could just eliminate. Like people say, well, if they wanted to kill us, they could. Sure, they could. But we're food. Why would you want to destroy your food chain? It's like you got raising chickens. You go out and shoot them all, and you're going to sell chickens that are dead? I mean, you have a reason to do farming, and they're farming this planet. The chemtrails are part of their farming. So, I mean, there's a lot of things happening that these top people have no clue. When they created the word global warming, he made Gore. He made millions of dollars on that. The guy that paid him to come up with the word global warming was thrown out of the country. But he's still making his money, telling the world that we're doing this, that, and everything. But they don't talk about the serious problems that are creating the global warming. Oh, well, cow farts, and we go into what else? What are there? Antifreeze. Antifreeze. The Freon in the car is heavier than air, so it doesn't float up into the ionosphere and destroy the aura around the planet. It doesn't. It's too heavy to do that. All the scenarios scientists give people are not even close to the truth. So when an alien race comes down here, what are they going to tell the government that's going to be true? What are they going to tell the people they work with that's going to be true and beneficial to us?
And what strength of the truth are we going to get? So if they, because they're already they're contacting people, they don't want full disclosure with the human race because that would have happened already. If they're intelligent, they think we're intelligent, and they can get something from us. That has happened already. If they've chosen to keep it behind curtains, then they've chosen to keep it behind curtains, which means they're not really a friend of the human race. Where does that leave us?
Well, it leaves us with a bunch of races that are here. All right, now I know I've been involved with the UFOs since I was 6 years old. I don't know every race. I don't know people that work with every race either, but I do know about 9 races. The Nordics aren't good people, all right, and people think they are. Then when we got the reptilian race, the draconian race, they're not good people either. Then we got the Greys that are not, they don't completely hate us, but they need us for food and for pollination. So they got their own agenda. So then we got the Andromedans and all those other kind of words for names. I'm there with names. I got a list of them, but all those other ones can't do anything against the reptilians. They can't do anything against the mantis people.
So what would we be told? So if they did land, and they said to the world, and they said to the government, any government, not just particularly picking on the US here, if they just said to, I don't know, the Burmese government or the British government, what would, so if the aliens said, look, we've got a cure for cancer, and the government said, no, don't tell everyone, we make more money from drugs. Not that aliens would know what money is. And they said, well, we have a message. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
As helicopters going everywhere else.
You got a laser? You'll go to jail if you do it. Well, okay. So, okay, what we're getting back to these people. What are they going to tell us?
What would they tell us? Would we get a watered down version of the truth?
Well, no, they're not going to give us any version of the truth. The truth is they need us for certain things. You can't tell a cow that they're going to be used for food. I mean, it wouldn't help them, would it? I mean, they probably think we're that stupid if they told us we're all going to be used for food sooner or later. I don't think people would like that idea.
We're DNA resource. That's all we are to them.
So, yeah, and people want to believe that they're going to help us. And the help that all New Age people, which is the most bizarre, twisted, stupid thing I ever heard, is we're going to become 6-dimensional beings. You know how you become a 6-dimensional being? Die. Let go of your body. And you're a dimensional being now. Guess what? So it's just a matter of being aware of your soul, of what it is outside of the body. Let go of the house, the car that you drive around in, and be aware of what you truly are. And you'll be so different. And then at that point, guess what? Aliens can't abduct you either. But as long as you're lame brain, dumb to the world, dumb to life, dumb to everything, they could use you in so many different ways.
Thanks. Are you calling me dumb?
No. Barbara Mistiniak wrote a book years ago. Well, no, I'll say this, and I know you might not like it. Very spiritual people can't be abducted. They can't use the vibration because it's too high for them. They need something equal or lower than their vibration. The same as God can't come to this planet, which people are too ignorant to understand. It would blow the planet apart. It's like a tuning fork. You're striking and bringing it.
I'm not bothered. Nobody's ever done me any favors. I'm telling you.
Oh, you don't mind losing your teeth, losing your hair, losing your fingernails, and everything else?
You got it. No.
You don't think that's a good thing? You don't think that's a positive thing?
Well, to keep him, would be good, but who do I pray to get that done? Because it ain't happening, is it? The aliens ain't putting them back. They may have crumbled them, stuck them together, and stuck them back. This is probably why I'm having the problem now. But
I was going to try to get into a thing with. Okay, I talked about the SETI Ranch, and then somebody just had him on, James Gillen, and they were interviewing him. I said, "You're going to listen to this guy and saying he's next to an alien base. So what? He's obviously he's going to see ships. Oh, we have videos of them landing. We have videos of this. Check out his site. I didn't pull it up recently. I know him personally. I think I won't say my words about him, but I know him personally. I know what he is, what kind of a person he is.
I mean, why would you want to run towards a tank? If you ran towards an armored tank, they're going to blow you up or they're going to shoot you. If you run towards a UFO or proactively incite them to come to you, the second that beam hits you, you don't stand a chance.
You know, my friend that I did all my UFO work with, Sergeant 18, he was up in Wanacue where the government was, where the ships were and all that. And when the first ship landed there, he went running towards it. His friend tackled him and knocked him down. And said, why the freak would you want to do that?
Probably saved his life.
Probably did. But see, here's people, oh, I want to go on a ship. I want to go on a ship. What do you know, they're so bored with life. They have nothing to their life. I guess they feel it'll make something exciting happen within them. I mean, floating around in space and have your body go like that.
No.
People don't understand what it would what traveling at the speed of light would
do.
No,
it doesn't happen like that.
No, I know it doesn't. But these people, getting back to these experiences is the word they love, they're in their bed and we'll go back to that word. And these aliens come into their bedrooms. Hey, come on, we're going to teach you and show you a whole bunch of new stuff. And then they come back. I had the best experience. Where's the gold? But, you know, I just thought of this. Imagine an alien race wanted to destroy the planet. And like, okay, what can we do to really screw them up? Offer everybody on the planet that does what they 5 gold bricks. Say, if you do this for us, we'll give you 5 gold bricks. And what if they gave everybody on the planet 5 gold bricks? There'd be no money system at all on the planet. People
I just want 6 numbers, the lottery numbers. So if you have them, beam them to me.
But you know, it would be like if you had all the money, you wouldn't go to work. You wouldn't go, you wouldn't become a sewer cleaner. You wouldn't be a garbage picker-upper. I mean, all these things would change instantly. And they could do it if that's what they wanted to. Now, your case is, I mean, people, I really want you to do a whole thing on you again, because people have to understand what you went through. A real abductee people. And now I'm giving my truth. She's as real as it gets in my world, period. I know the Travis Walton, he doesn't even know what's going on. He's claiming he's going to do a movie over. He walks around with this big hand that's a healing hand.
Oh, I like Travis.
He's a nice guy. I'm not judging him for that reason. I'm judging him because he still doesn't know what's going on with the UFOs and his whole thing. So here's a person that's still dealing with them. And they're not going to let her go. They need her. They need her for a reason. And like I said, if they don't need you, they don't need you. So the people that say they're going to be with them and travel and they're going to learn, what are you learning about other solar systems? Is it going to help anybody here?
Be fat, be old, work yourself to death, and then you'd be like me. Why on earth would they want anything to do with me? I have no idea. Because they can have it. I'll take money and be skinny, lay on a beach any day, mate.
When I step out of my body, they can have it if they need it. That's their desperation.
I own my body, it's staying here.
No, I'm going to have my body burnt up, so it doesn't matter. But seriously, but here's the thing. No, my partner had Tibetan burial is so different. Now, native burial, they buried the body without, it can't be embalmed either. So my medicine woman had to keep her daughter, who died, 30 days in a tub of ice before she could bury her.
That's sad.
It was sad. In her own country, I mean, in her own state, she wanted to bury her daughter, and she had to get all these permits to do it. They finally gave it to her a month later. The daughter was wrapped up in a towel, a sheet, and then buried. And then they planted a tree over her. That's the way the native people do it. But she couldn't just do it. So, again, you know, you look at what people's faith is and their truth, and it's like the government doesn't care what you believe in, what you do. You got to follow our rules and regulations. So you don't think an alien race that's much more technical and advanced in that way?
They can't even follow human rules now, and they just hold on. We just take who we want. We'll just, you know, do what we want and put them back. That's against human rules and human. Where's my human rights? Oh, they don't give a monkeys about that.
The only thing I say that's beneficial about Tina is they brought her back. Some people never come back. So
yeah, they don't. To be honest. To play it fair, they did ask me if I wanted to stay with him, but that would mean never coming back. And when I said no, I didn't really say no. I thought more about my family. and they showed me like an image of my family, and I'm like, I know, and they said, oh, you know, you're brave choosing to die here on this planet.
Well, even if they kept you there,
Yeah.
you know, if they kept you, you'd only live a little longer. You're not going to live forever. You're still going to die.
Life's for living with your family, so enjoy it where you can.
So if you have family, some people don't.
Yeah.
And there, to them, there is no reason. But, you know, that's what we have to decide. When they say become the best you are, you got to become aware of who you are, what it really means. Well, I'm going to be a plumber, carpenter. That doesn't change who you are.
People are best in different ways, and it's not till, like the old saying is true, it's not till you go that they miss it or they see what they had in you. But yeah.
But we each have our own gift for our soul. Our soul comes here for a reason. That's what we got to work on, not what other people tell you it is. And your parents tell you you're going to be a carpenter, you're going to be a doctor. They want you to be the best that they think you're going to be. Somebody's a shoemaker, you're going to be a shoemaker. Really? Do I have to? I mean, in other countries, children don't even have that. They break their legs and tie them up and put them out on the street begging for money. This is a sad world. And if people think this is heaven, I say, just look at numbers. Numbers will tell you what's going on this planet. Simply, how many people get abducted, how many people get robbed, all those numbers equal incredible numbers. The two numbers that are most important is 150,000 people die daily. All right? The other number, 300,000 are born daily. So there's a lot more coming into this world than leaving. We have lots of people leaving. So those two numbers you should be aware of. But 100,000 die in the hospital, just so you know. So don't go to a hospital. But 50,000 die outside of a hospital. That's the number you should be thinking about. And now this virus is playing a game on the whole world. We're going to make it whatever it isn't. Whatever they say it isn't. Whatever they say it is not what it really is. When they tell us it's this, it's not. Seriously. I mean, it's not even a virus. I mean, it can't live by itself. It has to go into a living cell to become alive in its own reality. So when they tell you things, it's delusional. And then when they put you on a respirator that's putting what into your body, what's it doing to the virus? The virus needs something to burn it up, the simplest way to kill it. And that's a high temperature. And they said, oh, the summer's coming, it'll destroy it. No, your body's not going to get a temperature that high to kill it. I mean, if we were living in 140 degrees temperature, I mean, it might burn up everything inside you, including you. But freezing it, I don't know. Maybe at like 40 below zero, it might freeze the virus. But you don't want to
be dead.
No, 40 degrees up in there. I mean, I watched that show where she lives up there and they have fish and things in the summer, but she's dealing with 40 degrees weather all winter long. I wouldn't want to live like that. I don't know how people could even consider living like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure you're right.
But people make use and try to adapt to where they are. But see, humans can move and change where they are. Not like animals. They don't have the ability to swim across the ocean and go somewhere else. Or, I mean, here in the island.
Well, they have the ability to evolve into human beings.
No, they don't. They can incarnate into a human, but they can't evolve into a human.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you saw a mongoose pop out with a human head, and say, hey, what do I got this stupid body for? I want a different body. I mean, now, let's add this into the stupid fire. China, Japan made it legal to clone humans and animals together. You know what that means?
Didn't the Egyptians do that?
No, they couldn't. They tried.
Fistball and all that kind of thing. And
they tried, but the deities themselves weren't created by the Egyptians. So I mean, they're half human and half animals that they saw. But
they have to have big and good imaginations if they did, even back then, to come up with all the drawings they've got.
Oh well, go think about this. You know, the first race, which is Buddhism. All right, in Hinduism, not Buddhism. Sorry, they came up with all the deities. But right before that, all humans that were alive on this planet were worshiping animals. So it wasn't that complicated to mix animals with humans at that time.
Does that mean aliens are? We decide to play God. Well, does that mean then all aliens worship human beings because we're food, and that's all they would do, worshiping food?
Well, that's one way to look at it. But I was just talking about a commercial, and it's on TV all the time now. because the Rain Man went around the world and he would make it rain wherever he went. They killed him and they took his book out of publication. But I was talking about the cartoon. The commercial shows this guy being sacrificed, and he's on the top of the fire and pit, and all these people are there. No, it's a commercial right now, and all the people are standing around, and they're getting ready to throw him into the fiery pit, right? And he goes, "We can irrigate. We can run water down the mountain. We could do all these things to get water," because they're going to sacrifice him for rain. And he goes, and he looks at the people. They go, "Coo," like that, right? So he goes, "No, sorry, we got to throw you in." And he goes, "Oh well," and they throw him into the fire. And then the guy turns around. This is the commercial. The guy turns around. "Where's the rain? Where's the rain?"
What's the commercial for? I haven't seen that.
I don't know what the commercial's for.
God.
I just think it's so stupid and funny at
You
the
watch
same
some
time.
weird stuff, I'm telling you. Jeez.
That's the commercial. No, it's a real commercial on TV weekly.
They're teaching people to sacrifice each other for water.
It was basically showing them in the old time, and they said they were going to sacrifice them to please the sun god or the rain god. I mean, people all through times they did that. But we don't have too much time left. But is there anything that you want to talk about before it ends? The only thing
I really think I've seen this week or the last 2 weeks is about Robert Bigelow doing something for the space station or going back into space again. I'm not quite sure what that's about. My apologies for last week for everyone. I do apologise that I wasn't on air last week with Tommy. For some reason, I don't think I was hacked. I'm not sure, but I was locked out of all my message accounts, email accounts, my phone. Couldn't send a message, couldn't make a phone call for 24 hours on everything, on Facebook, on my phone. I couldn't get onto my anything. So I do apologise. It's now been sorted and it's taken a couple of days for that to go through. So I do apologise for leaving you all in the lurch for last week. It wasn't of my doing. But it's good to be back with no touchwood hitches this week with Tommy. And again, if you'd like to be on our show, if you'd like to raise questions, ask questions, or give us some answers to questions that we've previously asked, then please contact Tommy. You can contact him on his email below there, or contact me. I'm Tina Barrett, ET Girl, and you can find me on Hive or the Hive Initiative on Facebook. That's a little blog and a little page. And you can friend me. I'm Tina Barrett on Facebook, or you can contact Tommy. But from me here in the UK in Southampton, it's good evening. You can follow me on Facebook, and Tommy will post our show again later. But it's good evening from me, and I'll hand you back across the pond to Tommy.
Wait. I got to read the last comment from our guest in the chat room. Read the last one out loud.
Hey, on no one's buffet.
All right, Tina, it's a pleasure.
I don't think I taste very good.
Well, how do we know?
They keep putting me back. You know
wait. I know you're leaving, but the plane that crashed in the mountains, they ate the people. They ate the people that were dying. It was a serious story, and they ate 7 people.
Oh yeah, what was it called?
Flight something. It was a horrible movie, but basically,
they had to cook them or eat them.
They burned their money for heat, and then they started eating the dead bodies. They were going to try to put them. They were going to put them in jail for doing it when they came back, when they saved them.
Yeah.
I mean, they let them go, but I mean, what? How could you charge a person for starving to death to try to eat something to stay alive?
That used to be a thing. There was a sailing law or some kind of seaman's law that if you were out like in the Arctic or the Antarctic, or you'd run out of food on a ship, they used to draw lots or kill the youngest person on board or the cabin boy for food, didn't they? That was apparently allowed. Oh.
Well, it's like, who do we eat first? So again, the reptilians aren't going to eat themselves before they eat us. Neither are the Greys. So, Tina, until next time, I'll catch you next Tuesday. Hopefully, everything goes good between now and then. It gets a little better somehow. Thank you for coming on. And that was Tina Bird. Next week.
See you later, Tommy. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye. Good evening.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please, I'm going to be doing another show, and the title is Beyond Your Truth. I'm sorry about the picture on this show. I shouldn't leave that picture for this show. because that's the book I wrote, and that's my other show basically going to be all about that. I'm trying to change this picture. I will next time, hopefully. But until then, enjoy your life, enjoy your day, enjoy whatever you're doing. Hopefully you can create and bring what you want into your reality. But remember, there's always a truth, and you should always be looking for that and not the one people tell you it is, because anything people tell you it is their partial truth, which isn't even close to the truth. I mean, if you find the truth, if you truly find it, you'll know it. It's not a gift. It's not a game. You'll know what it is. It's solid and real to you. And it's something that you could prove to yourself, which is always important, because if you can't prove it to yourself, you're not going to prove it to anybody else. And then it doesn't even matter if you can prove it to anybody else if you can't prove it to yourself. So with that, everybody, Tommy Hawksblood here. You want my books? My first 2 books are an ebook, and I'll send them to you. How to See God and When Truth is Called Crazy. When Truth is Called Crazy is my autobiography. Then, and it was a long time ago already. I'm still here. Amazing. So please get involved with life. Find the truth out. Don't be pulled into the lies, and realize the only one you're accountable to is what you need to find out. And it's not Mr. Trump. And it's not Putin. So think about who you are embedded in life with, and who you're really accountable to when you leave this planet. Higher aliens, really? Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call them. What do you think? Think about it. And you should, because your time's going to run out. And believe me, when you get older, time goes fast. And it goes faster every single day. A little bit here and a little bit there, and then the week's gone. To me, it's like every Friday I put the TV on. Oh, it's Friday again. So you're losing a week at a time. So it starts getting bad. But don't get old if you can help it. Don't start taking pills and make you live longer, because then you want to in the best you can, but you want to die in your truth. So with that, peace, compassion, whatever you need in your life, hope you get it. Till next time, Tommy Hawksblood signing off.